So it's today May 31st, and tomorrow I'll be starting Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. I've been sent this book by The Wild Sasha, and I thought of start doing the intro now since tomorrow we'll be visiting my aunt and uncle, that live at the other side of the Netherlands, and we'll be leaving early. So I think I wouldn't be able to do a proper introduction of the book. This book, I think it's a young adult fantasy, and it's very short. It is about magical children that go to their worlds, but then they're used up and then they go back, and there's someone that cares for them, and things go wrong, and it's friendshipy, and many people love it. I really don't know anything about it, okay? Yeah. I'll be reading this one. I hope I can get some reading done in the car, even though it really depends on how I'm feeling, if I can. Otherwise, I'll be reading when I get home. It's the 20th of June, 2022. And I'm starting my reread of Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. It's been a while since I read this. I think it was 2020, and I have not really been reading anything. I haven't continued with the series or any other books from Shannon McGuire, but since it's like the series thing I want to make, I'm going to reread this book. I'm heading towards an appointment soon, and I have work today, so I might cram in some reading there. Especially since it's so short, I think I can manage to finish it in one day. And I'm super excited for it. I'm super excited what I think of it now, especially since I'm more acknowledged in my asexual feelings, and especially since this has asexual rep. I'm super excited to see what I think of it now, and also because I'm more well read now, and I think it's gonna be super interesting, so I'll take you along this ride. Morning. Today I'll be reading Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon McGuire. It's early, it's almost 8 in the morning, and we'll be leaving soon for my aunt and uncle, and I hope I can get some reading done in the car, but I'm kind of tired, so... It's now after work, and I had a very quiet work shift, and also my appointment went very well this morning, and I also got to read a little bit before my appointment, so after all I'm now 100 pages in. Yeah, 102 on chapter 6, and I love the atmosphere in this book. Even though I know like the whodunit thing, it's still so fascinating to read, and I really enjoy reading it. I'm annotating the food in the book for a project I'm doing, and it's so interesting to see the amount of ways to describe things, especially like using food as like color descriptions, which was very nice, and also how fast, and because it's a very short book, how fast you get to know these characters by the way they're described instead of all the things they do. You get so easily attached, and that's why it's so emotional. And the atmosphere, I think the most important thing of this book is the atmosphere, but also the logic is built quite well and explained very easily and fast. And not everything has to be explained, which is so nice. And I just think the first time I didn't know what I was getting into, I didn't really understand, but now I just read it and I think, oh, this is fascinating. And it's such a great book to read in like silence, in a serene surrounding, so not really my room, but like at my work. I work at a school, it was very quiet, no one was there, and I just got sucked into it. And this is it's such an interesting read, and especially like to annotate like the foods in it. It's very interesting to do, and um, also I mean it's very adult, the descriptions and the disclosures and things, but also very real in that sense. Like, and don't think it brushes away from how these people would really be if they existed. And I think it's just a very great depiction of what it would be like, I think. I mean, we could never know for sure, but I'm really excited. Well, excited. I'm really looking forward to continuing, which I will do immediately after this update. It's now 8:05, and we got home 1.5 hours ago. I'm now on page 143 of Every Heart a Door by Shannon McGuire. Wow, I'm so tired. You can tell. I read most of it in the car. I'm really enjoying it, but it's just going very fast, which kind of means that I don't know, I don't connect with the characters that much. Well, now I can also give a proper introduction of the book. The book is about the main character in this one is Nancy, and she is sent to the wayward, like a boarding school for wayward children, and all these children have been to magical worlds, but for some reason they've been pushed out of this magical world, and all these people here want to go back to their magical world. And it has some LGBTQ plus rep, which I really enjoy, but maybe because it's so fast paced, I have kind of trouble connecting with the characters, and especially the main character, even though she has like the same, she identifies kind of the same as I do. It's still, I don't know, hard to connect with her, which is kind of sad. Maybe because it's so short that I don't feel connected that much. But I hope I can finish this tonight, and otherwise tomorrow. It's now 10:15. I just finished Every Heart a Door by Shannon McGuire. I cried. Like, I was furious. I knew, and for some reason it made me very emotional. Like that ending. And even though I didn't feel extremely attached to the characters, it was still, for, I don't know, the writing, the kind of mystery that it was like, I felt injustice for some reason. Like, they didn't deserve blank, and it was intense, man. And I love some of the characters. Even though I didn't feel extremely connected, I still love some of the characters with what they did. And oh my god, like, their personalities were still very vibrant even in those small pages. And like, there's not much explained, but what is told is very lyrical and in depth, which I just loved. Don't think it's 5 stars for me just because I didn't really connect that much with the characters, but I still really enjoyed, so it will probably be a 4 or a 4.5 stars. Like, I'm so happy that I read this book, and I'll definitely continue with the series. And it also made my appetite go away for a bit, because sometimes very gruesome, but I could still handle it. I think it's, even though it's gruesome, it's still doable if you're not that into it like I'm not. And yeah, also LGBT read, which I really enjoyed. And this is the first book I read with rap in it that I can sort of relate to, which is very cool. Yay! Highly recommend. I was planning on reading this in 2 days. I read it in 1 day, and next day. And yesterday evening I finished my reread of Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon Maguire, and I really enjoyed it. I think I even enjoyed it more than the first time, but I'll talk about that when I talk about the reviews combined and when I've put it through Kapal. But I really think this is a 5-star this time. Even though the whole suspense of whodunit wasn't there for me, I think I finally understood it more and appreciated it more for what it is. And I'm now super excited to continue, even though I don't have any of the next book in the series yet. But I think I'm very eager to see how Down the Sticks and Bones is, even though I think that may be even grittier than this one. I just really like this, and the descriptions are so beautiful, and also I just noticed for such a short book it talks about food quite a lot, because it gives them personality and what they eat and why they eat certain things, and I think that was such a nice little thing that I wouldn't have noticed normally. I just think the rap in this is so beautiful. I'll go back and write down the description Nancy gave of her asexuality, because I think I can resonate to that so much. I don't exactly know where it was. This was always the difficult part. Back when she'd been at her old school, explaining that asexual and aromantic were different things. She liked holding hands and trading kisses. She had several boyfriends in elementary school, just like most of the other girls. And she had always found those practice relationships completely satisfying. It wasn't until puberty had come along and changed the rules that she'd start pulling away in confusion and disinterest. Cade was probably the most beautiful boy she'd ever seen. She wanted to spend hours sitting with him and talking about pointless things. She wanted to feel his hand against her skin, to know that his presence was absolute and focused entirely on her. The trouble was it never seemed to end there, and that was as far as she was willing to go. I think that part is so relatable to me, and I didn't really know that at the point when I read it I was 16, I think, or 17. I had been out as asexual for some time, but especially since I now have also experienced some relationships, I can understand, and I think that is such an important part of who I am is put down here in this book in this just short paragraph, and it really makes me appreciate that more now, especially since I understand it now better, because I understand myself now better. And I just love how in such short pages it can tell such a deep story and such delicate words. It doesn't shy away from using many words to describe things, but it also leaves away some words, some other deep things in it, and it's just so fascinating to me that she wrote this and it's such short, but I can complain a lot about early YA in Dutch that it's too short, but I don't think this is too short even though it's so short. And I just think that's the magic of this book, is that it tells such broad and deep story with such little pages, and I think that's why more people should read it, and I understand why it's a booktube favorite. And I'm super excited to continue with the series, especially since there are so many books out in it already. So I just should get my ass onto it. But also, the books, I cannot really get them easily here. I always have to order them, and they're not very cheap for the size. So I normally gravitate towards more like paperbacks because they're cheaper. But I really, really want to continue, and I should. So now on to the part where I do my compile and get my review from 2020. Laptop with me to look at my rating from 2020 and my review that I wrote on Goodreads and my compile rating that I put in earlier. So for Every Hearted Doorway, I wrote not the longest of reviews, but I want to go through it anyway because I think it's very, very interesting. So in the end, I wrote, "What a ride! Such an interesting story. This made me feel things. I knew it. This book is so fucked up, but in the best way possible. I'm looking forward to reading the sequel." I think at one point, and I realized that when rereading it, I knew it, who done it, the thing, and I was so excited. I was like, when the review came, I knew who did it, which is super interesting always to feel like you know what went going on. And I'm still looking forward to reading the sequel. So sorry, 2020 me who hadn't read the sequel. And then for my rating, I put it through Carpile. I gave it a 9 for characters, a 10 for atmosphere, a 10 for writing, an 8 for plot, an 8 for intrigue, a 9 for logic, and a 10 for enjoyment. My rating went up because it was first a 4.5 star, 4/4.5 star, and it now went up to a 5 star and 9.14 on Carpile because I loved it so much, and some things are way more important for me now than they were back then, and especially the part in what I read to you, page 121. Those kind of things mean so much more to me now than they did back when I read it 2 years ago. So it's super interesting to see that I actually like it more on a reread, and I should really get my hands on Down Among the Sticks and Bones. And it's always nice to see how much I have evolved into my sexuality and into my identity, that I can relate with this, and also in the way that I can appreciate books. Wow. Books that I can see the meaning, and that I also have involved in my English because I understand it better, which is nice. And I think it's just incredible to see how much has changed, but also how much has stayed the same in who I am as a person and what I like in books. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope to see you next time with another video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below. All my links are in my bio and everything I talked about. So until the next video, see you later!